Hey, it's your boy Silver Smasher here, coach of the Floridian Typhlosions, and today I'll be bringing you my APA Season 3 draft analysis. So this was a GBA formatted draft, and I was 4th pick overall. So I was deciding on my first pick, and I was like, hey, Tapu Koko seems good. But literally the first pick before me, I got sniped of it, and I'm like, well, crap. I don't know what I want. And I was thinking, and then I was like, you know what? I've done good with this. This first pick of mine, I've used a lot. It's very good. Some people sleep on it, but I love it, and it's really good. And that first pick will be, my first pick will be Mega Delay. It has base 68 HP. That's not as good. Its base attack is 165, so that's a very strong physical wall breaker, and I feel like it's really good at what it does. It can set up Swords Dance. It can use bulk up subsets with Drain Punch or any other move that you feel, because you won't need like Psychic Stab every game. Sometimes you might need cover. So when I had my eyes set on this, I'm like, okay, this is a really good fighting and psychic type out of the way. And it has memento, so I could use it to set up for my other moms that may be on my team that can sweep or wall break effectively alongside with this. And its speed tear is base 110, so that's really good. It's speed time with the Lottie twins. It's speed time with Gengar. It's outspeeding base 100s, which is really amazing in draft format. So I snagged this up early. Some people might have thought this is a bit too early, but for me, I had planned for it, and I'm gonna draft accordingly around it. So my next pick shouldn't be of a surprise. I don't know how I got this round 2, but I did, and that would be Garchomp. Everybody knows what I can do with this thing. Last season, I picked up over 25 kills with this thing, and every time I brought it to a game, it got a kill, no less than 2. And I love this mon. It sets up rocks. It can be a really good choice scarfer. It has Swords Dance, so it can wall break. And it's also my Z user, so that's also really good. So now that's something else that you have to prep for. Dragonian Z is really good. Tectonic Rage, Stellium Z, everything that can deal with its checks and counters and league format. Its base HP is 108, I believe. Its attack is 130. That's really good, especially with Swords Dance. Too bad this thing doesn't get Dragon Dance, but I think if it did, it'll get banned. I can run Rocky Helmet sets with this thing, just in case someone has a threat like Mega Lock, stuff like, basically physical attacking heavy mons, because I can't think of any on top of my head. But, yeah, that's when I thought of this pick, I'm like, wait, I need a Dragon type. And Garchomp is a really good one, and I decided to go back to my roots, pick up Garchomp. And some people will kill me for picking this thing again and again and again, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My next pick is Heatran to get 2/3 of my Dragon Steel Fairy Core, and I got Heatran because it's a really good rocker. It's also my second Z user. It also starts my Fire, Grass, and Water Core, which is also good. So I'm getting my core started, and I'm finishing up my other core. And Heatran has Magma Storm, so I can trap the water type, use Grassy and Z. I can, it gets Earth Power, Dark Pulse, it gets a lot of good stuff. It even gets up rocks, so my Garchomp won't have to get up rocks every game, which I don't plan on doing all the time. And I can see myself bringing Choice Scarf Eruption Heatran, because that is really good also if my opponent lacks a really good water type or a really good dragon type. And even still, it depending on the water or dragon, it's gonna do a lot. And Heatran is extremely good. It gives me a flying resist, psychic resist. It deals with fairy types, grass types. It deals with a lot. And I needed that because Gallade hates these flying types. And I thought, hey, why not get Heatran? It deals with them really well. So I got Heatran, and I hope it won't disappoint. I've used it before. It's really good. It's just that base 77 speed isn't as good as I'd like it to be, but it's better than nothing. My next pick, Shaman. Shaman, I've used multiple times in other leagues, base 100 across the board. It has Sea Flare, which is really good. 40% chance to lower your special defense. It gets aromatherapy, so it can be a cleric. Synthesis, so it has recovery. It gets Earth Power, Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, Air Slash. All the things that most grass types probably don't get, and it's really good to cover my team because I was like, I needed a ground resist. I need a good grass type that can do its job and do it well. So I thought of Shaman. I'm like, round 4 Shaman, that doesn't seem too bad, so I grabbed it. Right now my team is a bit ice weak, and aside from the Heatran, but my next pick doesn't help that as much, but that next pick will be Crobat. I needed a hazard removal, so I chose Crobat. It's really good at what it does. Base 130 speed is extremely good. It's hard to find a mon with 130 speed that's viable and as good as a lot of the mons that has the speed 10. And when I thought of this pick, I thought, hey, I need a Defogger, a Taunter, a mon that can has recovery, that U-turns and gives me momentum. It can even use Nasty Plot if I choose to bring it, which I love Nasty Plot Crobat. Nasty Plot Crobat is extremely stepped on in League format. I bring it a lot. So prepare for that. If you think it can do some work versus you, I'll give you a heads up. Prepare for Nasty Plot Crobat. Because Kurt can tell you, I've swept with a Nasty Plot Crobat in League format before. It was great, and I loved it. I think I still have the replay. I don't know, but anyways, it has base 90 attack. What's his? Yeah, 90 attack, 70 special attack, 80 defense, 80 special defense, and the 130 speed, like I mentioned earlier. And I think I forgot something, but oh yeah, it slipped my mind. Crap, never mind. Anyways, when I thought of my next pick, I was like, man, I'm Bolt Beam weak. I need a special attacker really runs through my team, and I needed something really fat and good at the same time, and I needed a ghost resist or immunity, so I picked a Snorlax. Snorlax is really good this gen with the 50% berries, the Ipapa berry, the Gluttony set with the belly drum curse. It's really good at what it does. If you don't have a Taunter, if you don't have a strong physical fighting type of Pokemon, that's pretty much game. Or if you don't have like Haze, Taunt, any fast Mon that can deal with that, then it's gonna be really hard to deal with. And it's really good at what it does, and that I don't think it only just curses. I can also bring like potentially Trick Room if I desire to. Trick Room, Belly Drum. It gets like Body Slam. It gets Thunder Punches. It Fire Punch, Ice Punch. It gets Crunch. Earthquake, Heavy Slam. It gets a lot of coverage in its options, and I love that this mon can do so much for my team because it's predictable in what it can do, but it's not always going to be a predictable set in how I use it. This mon is really fat. It has 160 base HP, which is really good. base 110 attack, which is not even bad. It's pretty good, especially since I don't have to invest and I'll be setting up with it pretty often. And it has base 65 defense, which isn't good. But if you're investing this with base 160 HP, and if you're setting up curses, it really doesn't matter, because by the time it gets 1 or 2 boosts in, how are you breaking this thing? Because it's especially bulky with base 110, which is also really good. So it's taking no special hits. It's taking everything well. And at that point, it's like, well, crap, what do I have for this thing? And then it's like, can I crit? Crit. And I'm like, and then it's like, if you don't crit, you just lose. And it's like, well, dang, like, what did I have for this thing? And that's why I decided to pick this up, because it's really good at what it does. And for its pick in tier 3, I thought this was a steal. It's really good. My next pick is a Selgor. This gives me spikes and T-spikes and a very fast hazard setter, which I really needed on my team. Base 145 speed is extremely good. Barely anything will outspeed this thing. And Mega Glade and Garchomp love hazards on the opposing side. So I thought of a Selgor this pick. I prioritized this because Spikers and T-Spikers are really hard to get once you get later into the round. And I thought, hey, why not? And Selgor is not just limited to setting up spikes. It can be a very reliable offensive mon, because I've used spikes on Life Orb before, and it's really good. Like, it gets Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Bug Buzz. It gets Focus Blast, Hidden Powers of your choice. It has options, and I feel like I can use this mon really well because I've had it a lot, and it's really good. And it has U-turn if I choose to have momentum on the opposing side. Like, if I feel threatened and I don't want to directly switch them on, and if it threatens them on out, I can U-turn. And we all know it has Final Gambit, so prepare for that, which I know you will, but just telling you that now, because I will bring it some weeks. And to keep my hazards up, I will use it. Even if you have a ghost type, I might still use it to bring in like an offensive mon that threatens out to apply pressure with my hazards, because that's how you hazard stack. You pressure the opponent, you keep the pressure going, you keep the hazards damage rolling up, racking up. And I feel like in League format, hazards are really good because not many people in this league, from what I've seen, really likes to bring removal. So I'm really going to take advantage of that if you decide not to bring any. And my next pick will be for Alligator. Even though a lot of people has chosen their water types at this point at this point in the game, at this point in the draft, sorry. I still wanted to get my for Alligator because I couldn't take any chances, because there's nothing wrong with having more than one water type. So I'm like, you know what, let me get my water type now. And this mon is absolutely amazing. It gets D-Dance, it gets Sword Stance, it gets Agility, it gets Ice Punch. It got Liquidation and Ultra Sun and Moon, so I think that's really good. I calced with it, and it's a 5 to 7% difference in calcs between Waterfall and Liquidation, which is really good. So I'm excited to use this mon. This mon is really good with spikes and T-spikes and rocks up, and I can and this also completes my fire, grass, and water core, which is also good. And this thing can also, believe it or not, its special attack is pretty usable. I think it's base 79 special attack or 78, one of those. But it can use a special set, Ice Beam, Skull, stuff like that. And I feel like this mon can be really good on my team. This mon is a very strong physical attacker. It can sweep, it can punch holes in the team for Garchomp and Mega Delay. I have U-turn on my team to get this in safely, so I could apply pressure, and not many things can deal with it. I have my grass answers in Shaman, Crobat, Excelgor, and Heatran. So I have a lot of grass answers for what usually checks for alligator, like those fat, annoying grass types that roams around like Tangrowth, Roserade, things like that. And for electric, I have immunity in Garchomp, it resists in Shaman, a special sponge in Snorlax. And even if I so choose, Gallade can take a special hit, which I will never do, but it's an option. And when I thought of this pick, I'm like, man, offensive word is really good. It's slept on, so I chose for alligator. My next pick, Cofagrigus. When I thought of a ghost type, I was like, man, I need a spin blocker. The ghost type that came to mind is Cofagrigus. This thing has T-Spice as well, so this frees up a slot on the Excelgor. It has Haze, so it's not set up fodder. It has Shadow Ball, Hex to T-Spice I may be bringing during some games. It has Trick Room, so if I decide to bring Trick Room with Snorlax, I can do that. And I can even bring some Trick Room with Belly Jump, I Pop a Berry, Gluttony, and Snorlax some games for late game cleaning or early game wall breaking. And it's really hard to deal with that, and it gives me a fighting resist along with my Crobat 4 times resisting it and my Gallade offensively dealing with it and defensively resisting it. And so that kind of fixes up my fighting weakness that I felt like I needed to patch up, because fighting and coverage really does good against this draft as of now, and I really wanted to fix that. And so I decided to pick up Cofagrigus this late, which is really good. And this thing also gets Nasty Plot and Calm Mind. If I choose to set up with this thing, I can use Calm Mind, Pain Split, things like that. I can use a lot with this mon. It gives Magic Coat, so I can bounce away hazards on my team if I choose to not bring Crobat that week. And overall, this mon is really good. It's so good. I've used it a lot. My friend Blaze, he's used Trick Room, Nasty Plot, Ghosting a lot, and it's so good at what it does. It's so scary. Too bad this isn't my Z user, but hey, we can't have it all. My next pick is Carbink. I needed my fairy mon. Yeah, it's really bad. It's not that good, but I needed something. And this gave me a flying resist. This gave me a mon to deal with a potential dragon type. So when people prep, they might be like, hey, I can spam Dracos, I can spam Outrage, I can spam Dragons, Dragon type moves against this guy, and he can't do anything about it. And even though Carbink isn't that good on paper as it is in practice, I can see myself bringing Suicide Sets, Stealth Rods, Light Screen, Reflects. It can have Explosion for Suicide Leads. I think this can be really a good asset to my draft. It can help my team become more threatening. It helps my team set up if I choose to bring screens, Suicide Leads. And this also helps alleviate rocks on Garchomp and Heatran, which is an option. And to point this out, this thing also gets Trick Room, so I think that's really good. So this can help with Snorlax, Cofagrigus. I can bring Slow for Alligator in Trick Room with Sword Dance, things like that. And even Heatran in Trick Room can be really good. Space Eruption in Trick Room, that's an awesome option that I can use, and nothing can deal with that because fire is really offensively good. And if your dragon type is weakened, if you need your dragon healthy, if your water type is low, and you need that healthy for my other threats, so that can put you in a bad position. And I feel like that's really good because base 77 speed isn't fast and it isn't too slow, but it's slow enough for trick room that I can use it on. And this alleviates Rodriguez from always having to be the trick room setter, because having only one trick room setter isn't that good and it's really unreliable. So I decided to pick up Carbon to complete my Dragon Fairy Steel Core. My next pick, and last and final pick, is the Fridge, the OG Rotom Frost. Not many people pick this, and I can see why, because Blizzard sucks to rely on. And trust me, knowing my luck, I will miss. But hey, it happens. So for my Ice and Electric type and my Ground Immunity, I pick up Rotom Frost. It's a really good Volt Switcher. It completes my Volt Turn Core, and it is base 188 speed. So it's a really good Scarfer. It can trick, it can Will-O-Wisp, it can set up screens, it can do a lot for my team to help set up. It gets the Fog as well as if Ultra Sun and Moon, and this also gives me another Hazard Cleric. So if I decide not to bring Crobat, hey, I have Rotom Frost potentially if I decide to bring it. And yeah, and overall this draft I feel like it's really good. It's weak to some things, but I feel like I can work around it. I feel like this draft is really good. I love my draft. Garchomp, Mega Gallade, Crobat, Snorlax, Accelgor, Carbink, Heatran for Alligator, Rodriguez. I feel like these all can work together. I feel like these mons have synergy, and even though it may not look as good on paper, it can probably cause some problems during prep, because Garchomp's a threat, Mega Glade's a threat, Shaman's a threat, Crobat's annoying, Snorlax is a huge threat. Accelgor gets up hazards. Carbink, not as much, but it can do some things. Heatran is really good. For Alligator, you know what it does. Sets up, Swords Dance, Agility, Dragon Dance. It does really well at doing that, and you would never want to give any of my mons free setup. And with Screens and Memento and Healing Wish from Shaman, as I forgot to mention earlier, my team could be a threat, and I hope to use it well, and I hope that this season will go well. And I'm glad to be in the APA Season 3 from the beginning, and it's really good. We have some really good people here. We got Panther, we have General Tar Heel, we have E4 Dan, we have a lot of good people. We have A-Drive, Crimson, Seabad. We have all these great people, Phantom Bass, Miticus, so much good people. And I'm excited to play with these people and to be a part of this league. And I can't wait to do my week 1 battle, and see you guys later, man. Have a good one.